Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Welcome back to the Jello Jiggling podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Ward. And sorry, people, I feel like shit today. So my voice is a little off. I've been coughing all morning, so I'm going to try and power through this as quickly as I can and hopefully get 20 minutes in. But what a hell of a sequence over the last few days. I fortunately got to go and cover Game 1 and Game 2 at Ball Arena, which was an experience, to say the least. I mean, I'm used to Staples or crypto. I still can't call that crypto. It just sounds so weird. Anyway, talk about a completely different media experience. Those guys are like locked in terms of taking care of media members. There's like a private elevator to get up to the press box, which you don't have at Staples. You got to share it with all the fans. You got to wait, and it just takes forever. It's just a miserable experience. And then they give you every single detail. I was telling the guys that work with, like Daniel and Matt Moreno, I was like, dude, you wouldn't believe it. They give you literally every detail possible. Plus, you don't have to pay for parking. Plus, you don't have to pay for food. It's like they want you as comfortable as possible. I'm like, what a concept, right? So when you go to the Lakers, you got to pay for food. You got to pay for parking. They give you a discount on parking at the beginning of the year, but it ain't much, and it goes up every single year. But Denver's just got this perfect little parking a lot on the side. You walk through this side entrance. It's just everything is so much easier. I was so blown away. I covered a game in Denver a long time ago. I think it was like 2014 or something. It was a while back. I was here to visit my folks, and there was a game, and I was just like, I guess the Lakers. Excuse me. And I was like, screw it, I'll just try. Let's just see what it's like. And I was blown away back then, and I was even more blown away this time because they had like redone everything. It's like whenever a team has a lot of success, they kind of, some teams put the money back into the place and make it look nicer, and just every bit of the experience was awesome. I said the only downside was the press room was really small, so it was difficult to do post game. Nearly, well, I'm not gonna say nearly impossible, but when you're in the press box and you got to get down, and then they have this closed door policy. Once the doors are closed, like you can't get in. That's not like it with the Lakers. Like the Lakers, to keep the back door open. As long as you're quiet and like respectfully, you sneak in. This one, they got like guards in front of the doors and stuff. But I just thought it was cool. I mean, the experience was just really cool. Unfortunately for the Lakers, it probably wasn't the greatest experience because they lost both games. And Game 1 was a disaster, I would say. I think both games are that's Max in the background, always trying to make an appearance. Both games were very similar in the way they started. Lakers got off to a hot start, putting the pressure on early. They seemed to flow offensively. I think in Game 1 they had a 12-point lead in the second quarter, and then Denver cut it down to 3 before halftime. And that wouldn't even gotten there if it weren't for this crazy 3 from almost half court from LeBron. But after that, it was over. The second half was, the Lakers lost their mojo, and Denver found theirs. They already had it going into halftime. They had the momentum going into halftime, and then they just flipped the switch. I mean, this team it's incredible in terms of being able to flip the switch and being comfortable. I mean, it's like they never panicked. They never did anything. They never made stupid mistakes. Like they're not throwing the ball, three rows up in the stands. Like they're a well-oiled machine, and they get down. They don't get frustrated. They're not going at each other's necks. Excuse me. They're not yelling at Mike Malone, they just kind of compose themselves and come back out and then kick your ass. And that's exactly what they did in 2 consecutive games. Now, game 2 was quite different. I think the Lakers really were on to something in the first half, and they got up to as much as 20 and seemed to be in control. And AD was just playing out of his mind. I mean, it was one thing I really noticed about AD in game 2 was the fact that there was zero hesitation whatsoever. He just got the ball, went straight up. If he was under the basket, went straight up. Most of these were jump shots. Like this was mid-range AD, and he was just no fakes, no like rocker step or anything. He just went straight up. Oh, these dogs drive me crazy. Anyway, and he was, I mean, impressive. He's the best guy on the floor in the first half for sure. But then, AD got in foul trouble in the second half. But you know what I don't understand is if a guy that good has it going, why would you stop going to him? Why would you change the game plan? It's like Ham's just like, oh, you know what? AD's had enough. Let's move the ball around. Let's do something else. And it was just, they just completely went away from him. I mean, he still had a monster game, but it was kind of sad, actually. And I would understand why he was. I mean, he was incredibly frustrated after the game. I think and understandably so, being the guy that Jamal Murray hit that game-winning shot over, and then just having such a great game and everything just going to shit in the end. So he had a one-word response, like one sentence response. He made the shot, dropped the mic, and walked off, pissed off. But he did make one comment that I thought was interesting. I think everybody thought was interesting, where he says at times the Lakers don't know what the hell they're doing on both ends of the floor. That's a direct shot at Darvin Ham. I mean, that's basically walking up to him, slapping him in the face, like, "Hey, dude, you're a shitty coach. You don't have us. You don't have us going like the way Mike Malone has them going." But I think it needed to be said. I think the fans have ripped Ham apart pretty much on a daily basis. And the media is getting to that point now too. But the players themselves haven't really ripped him or taken jabs. I mean, like slight jabs, but nothing like super direct, and that was, without saying his name, that was pretty direct. But it impressed me. I was like, you know what? If anybody's to be frustrated, it should be Anthony Davis, especially after a game like that, when he had 32, 11, and 2 assists. Don't sound like a crazy game, but if you were watching it, you saw how incredibly locked in he was in the first half. LeBron had a solid all-around game, kind of what he does. 26, 12 assists, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 steals. D'Lo actually turned it on after a total dud in game 1. I feel for D'Lo at times because one game, he has one bad game and everybody jumps on him like immediately. Fans went from praising him to just ripping him apart because I can't remember what he shot in game 1, but it was pretty. I think it was 6 for 20 or something like that, and 1 for 9 from deep. It's just awful. He couldn't hit anything. This game was completely different. He came out firing. I think he was the main reason they got up 20. Him and AD were the main reasons they got up 20. He went 7 for 11 from deep, 23 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. If he keeps stroking it like that, the Lakers have a legit chance. But the problem is they have to play flawless basketball to beat this team. Like absolutely flawless. And it was totally proven in game 2. The minute the Lakers started to falter, it's like the Nuggets were like this hungry beast just waiting to jump on this, poor unexpected gazelle. Like you're done. We got you. And Murray, Michael Porter Jr. was on fire. Jokic was doing his thing. Crazy thing about Jokic is he has these. It's like he's quietly there for a while, right? Yeah, he has a play here or there, but you don't notice him until the game really gets going, right? And then all of a sudden, he's just involved in every single play. And the opponent has just no way to stop him. And that's so true with the Lakers. I mean, they got AD, but AD got 4 fouls. And then he had to pretty much do a Darvin Ham and put his hands in his pockets in the second half, which really hindered his play. I mean, AD wasn't really there in the fourth quarter. He didn't do much. But let's see. And you know what? You look at the stats and you compare them. The Lakers should have won. I mean, well, obviously it came down to a game-winning shot, so there was a good chance of them winning. But field goal percentage, 48.7 for the Lakers, 44.3 for Denver. 3-point percentage, 43.3, 23.5 for Denver. Porter was basically the only one hitting from deep. I don't think KCP hit a shot. I don't know if Murray did. It's pretty bad. I mean, okay, well, here we go. Jokic went 2 for 4 from deep, and Porter was 6 for 10. I don't think anybody else hit. Whereas the Lakers, everybody that can shoot the ball played pretty well, except for Reeves. That's another thing. Reeves has kind of been non-existent in this series. He's hit a couple shots here and there, but nothing like substantial. You don't even notice that he's there. But LeBron went 3 for 6 from deep. D'Lo 7 for 11, like I said, and Prince was 2 for 3, which is pretty damn good. And then the rebounds, Denver did out rebound them, and that's been an issue, but it's only by 7. I mean, it's not like substantial, like huge difference. But you look at these numbers. If you looked at these numbers, you didn't see the final score or watch the game, you'd be like, yeah, Lakers won. Lakers won this game. But they didn't. And now they're going home, and they will play tonight, Game 3 in LA, with their backs against the wall. And one thing that got people excited, or at least, optimistic that things might change with the series shifting to LA, was a report, I think, by Shams saying that Christian Wood and Jared Vanderbilt would be back for Game 3, or they're aiming for it, but like basically saying they're going to play Game 3. Damn, sorry. Oh man, I hate doing podcasts when I feel like crap. But as we all know now, most likely, if you're a Lakers fan, that they put the status report out yesterday ahead of the Game 3 today and said that both of those guys are out again. So, and they didn't put them as questionable or any kind of hint of like they might play. No, they're just out. So I don't know where the hell that report came from, James. I don't know if that was like something like leaked to make, Denver a little uneasy or something, even though I don't think Denver really cares. I think they're so confident that it don't matter at this point. But that would have been a game changer, especially Vando. I mean, I've said this a ton of times in the prior podcasts, but his on-ball defense is the game changer for this team, and helps out AD tremendously, as well as LeBron and Reeves and D'Lo. But yeah, that's not happening, and that was a real gut punch. And I'm not quite sure if they just didn't want to rush those guys back, or maybe the team is like thinking, yeah, we're done. We're done. So what? Why risk further injury to these guys that would jeopardize next season? I think Wood is on a 1-year deal, I think. Pretty sure. And then Vando signed extension last summer. Okay, in terms of, I totally glossed over this in the beginning, but Ball Arena, I have covered games in San Francisco for preseason against the Warriors, San Diego preseason Laker games every year. Well, almost every year. Anaheim, which is pretty much every year. In Las Vegas preseason. Ball Arena was outside of San Francisco. I'd say Ball Arena was the best of the bunch. Even Vegas is pretty nice. Anaheim's just small, dinky place. It's like it doesn't even feel like an NBA game should be there, and it's mostly for hockey anyway. Honda Center. San Diego, exactly the same, but even worse. That place is terrible. I thought it was cool because I had the best press seats I've ever had. Courtside press seats was awesome, and it was the first preseason game for LeBron in a Lakers uniform. So the first time he ever touched the floor for the Lakers, I was right there. I've got some cool pictures too, like him standing right in front of me, about to check in. But yeah, just totally different. I mean, I don't know what the Lakers are going to do because they're not going to move. They're not going to change buildings. At least I don't think so. Like not in the near future. But they got to do something to update that arena because it's so outdated when you go to new places or newer places. Because Ball Arena is not even new. It's fairly old too. But they just do a good job of renovating the place and keeping it up. And I think it was just a good design in the beginning. But you go to like the Chase Center and it's just like, what? Such a big difference. Anyway, there was a rumor that Darvin Ham would be safe regardless of the outcome of this series. I personally think that's fucking crazy. Like, what are we looking at here? Why is that the case? I mean, I get it after last year, right? Going all the way to the West Finals. What has he proven as a head coach? I mean, this is, if anything, it's just the talent of the team. It's just LeBron, AD, and D'Lo, right? That has gotten them to where they are. And it's not even all that impressive. It's pretty mediocre considering what the expectations are for this team. But if he comes back, I mean, people are going to rage. I mean, especially if there's other options out there. I know Sean Davis, my Lakers Nation colleague, he said a few options that he thinks. I mean, he pays a lot of attention to that kind of stuff because he's in that kind of coaching mindset. So from what he says is there's options out there and probably a lot better options. But I don't know. It's going to be a crazy summer, man. And to think that it's only 2 losses away that's even crazier. And then AD got snubbed for Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he wasn't even a finalist. I don't think they have announced the actual winner, which I think is going to be Gobert. But I think, what was it? Bam, Gobert, and Wembanyama, I believe. I don't understand the whole Bam Adebayo thing. Why he's always in the running for this every year. I even watched the game last night against the Celtics where they actually won, and I didn't see him making like a huge impact defensively, like AD does on a nightly basis. But then again, I don't watch the Heat, like I do the Lakers, obviously. So I can't put that. I just find it funny. But he did say, AD did. I think AD is getting to the point of major frustration that he's just saying things that are just super ill-advised. He said he thinks the league doesn't like him. Like, what the hell is that? It's like, come on, dude. Why would the league not like you? What have you done? You haven't done anything bad. You never get in trouble. And I don't understand that at all. He called himself the NBA's best defensive player. Now I hate that shit. If you're the best at anything, you never have to say it. You never have to say it. It's just common knowledge. It's other people dub you that, you know? That just drives me nuts. It's like that's it's the thing I can't stand about LeBron at times is when he calls himself the GOAT. It's like, what, dude? Don't do that. You know, it's like a sign of insecurity, right? And then the statement before, league doesn't like me. Like, dude, just get over it. You didn't get it, whatever. Just prove it on the floor. You know, you don't have to say it like that. Like, you just sound like a poor loser. Then there's Dwight Howard. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. Dwight's like acting like he's the best player to defend Jokic. Keeps making comments on social media or whatever. Like the Lakers could just sign him. Like, dude, it doesn't work that way. You know that. Just making noise to make noise. Even though Dwight did body him pretty well in the bubble, from what I remember. He gave him fits. I think Dwight's the only one I've seen that's been really willing to get physical with Jokic, and that it's worked. I mean, Jokic wasn't the Jokic we see today in 2020, but I would be curious to see. I mean, and Dwight is probably not the same player either, but like the other way though, decline rather than Jokic, winning multiple MVPs and a championship. Anyway, Dwight wants some attention, so give him some attention if you want to give him attention. And the foul calls, man. I was there in person watching that, and I'm getting to the point now where I don't even know what the hell a foul is anymore. Like, even when they go and review it, you would figure, hey, yeah, we made a clear mistake here, one way or the other. Let's fix it. That's what the review's for. But no, they don't. They come back and they like overturn. I mean, there was 2 calls that Denver got that challenged and were successful, and probably shouldn't have been. Especially the one where D'Lo got smacked in the face by Porter when he was going up for a layup. I think it was Porter. That was pretty ridiculous. I don't know how you watch that again and be like, oh, well, there's no foul. I know the ball was out of his hands, but I mean, he smacked him right in the face, man. Like, it's not like you punched him or anything, but it was a pretty clear foul. It just, I said, I tweeted it out during the game. I was like, this feels a lot like home cooking, right? There are a lot of calls are just going their way. And that it's Lakers shouldn't really bitch and complain, because I think the foul discrepancy is they've gotten more foul calls by a ton than any other team. I don't know what the numbers are for that, but I've heard that over and over again. So and that's another thing. I can't stand today's players in terms of where they bitch and moan about every single non-call or call. I don't get the point of complaining when it's not going to change anything. I don't understand that. What are you doing? Why are you bitching? Just get back playing deep. It is what it is, right? If it's blatant, like the D'Angelo one, and it could be a crucial call that changes the game or series, yeah, okay. Scream to high hell. But every single call, I mean, I was even watching that Celtics game last night. I'm like, and they're just complaining constantly. I'm just like, shut up. Play basketball. What are you bitching about? Like, I don't understand that. And it's even the young guys now too. These young rookies and second, third year players. Like Herb Jones was complaining, and I'm like, they had the camera on him, so he's reading his lips, and I'm just like, dude, it's over. The play's or there's another play going. Like, what are you doing? Anyway, Things are not trending in the right direction. Refs suck. Things aren't trending in the right direction. Lakers have to win tonight to make this a series, to get it back to Denver for Game 5. I think they're capable. I think they've proven over the last 2 games that they're capable of beating the Nuggets. But like I said, they have to play flawless basketball. And, the margin for error is it's very small. It's going to take a lot. And you can't have guys like Rui disappearing, Reeves disappearing, D'Lo disappearing, even though he showed up in Game 2. You just can't do it. And you need great games from LeBron and AD. Hopefully, AD is taking all this stuff as motivation and not revert back to pouting or saying stupid shit, and just focuses on getting the best of Jokic. He's that no hesitation, man, really impressed me. If he can do that again and just stay that way, and then have him not go away from him if it's working, then they got a good shot. I mean, I do think it'll be another hard-fought battle, because it does resemble the West Finals a lot from last year. Every game was close. I think there was only one blowout. And even that blowout was, 10, 11 points, something like that. So it's, depends on what you consider a blowout, but they're still in it. They still got a shot. Just got to be focused, and one win can change everything. Can turn a series around. Let's hope that happens. And we can keep watching Lakers basketball. Otherwise, it's going to be an early exit again. Well, not again, but an early exit and a really crazy offseason. I think it'll be crazy regardless, no matter when they get knocked out, unless they win it all. But take one game at a time. Cliche as hell, but true. Until next time, see you later.
Thank you for listening to Believe. You can show support to your host by subscribing to the show and giving us a 5-star rating on your preferred platform. Check us out at Believe.com and search for BLEAV on YouTube.
You know when you're listening to a true crime story that has an unbelievable plot twist that makes you stop in your tracks? That's what our podcast, People Are the Worst, brings you with each episode. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Rebecca. We're identical twins who love true crime cases that make you say, didn't see that coming, and we hate the people responsible for them. Listen to People Are the Worst now on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.